Golf Central on YouTube is brought to you by the new Chrome Tour golf ball from Callaway.
Welcome into Golf Central on this Wednesday. I'm Eamon Lynch and I'll be joined in just a moment by Paige McKenzie. But first we start our show with some news from the PGA Tour. On September 16th, the Tour announced that the Sentry could not be contested at the Plantation course at Kapalua Resort due to ongoing drought conditions, water conservation requirements, agronomic conditions and logistical challenges, and that additional event information would be shared in due course. Well, today, the Tour announced that the 2026 edition of the Sentry will not be contested at all. This statement from PGA Tour headquarters. After assessing alternate venues in Hawaii and beyond, the Tour determined it would not be able to contest the Sentry in 2026 because of logistical challenges, including shipping deadlines, tournament infrastructure and vendor support. The PGA Tour remains in communication with Hawaii Governor Josh Green and respective local stakeholders as it gears up to open its 2026 season in Hawaii. Both the PGA Tour and PGA Tour champions will open their 2026 seasons in Hawaii with the Sony Open at Waialae Country Club in Honolulu and the Mitsubishi Electric Championship at Hualalai on the Big Island. Hawaii Governor Josh Green had this to say: "We are appreciative of the PGA Tour's thorough effort and communication throughout this process. Though we're disappointed the Sentry will not be contested in 2026, we are excited that the beauty and aloha spirit of the islands will be showcased to fans around the world at the Sony Open in Hawaii and with the PGA Tour Champions event at Hualalai. On behalf of our communities, we are grateful to Sentry Insurance for their continued support and partnership." For more on this latest news, we welcome in Todd Lewis.
Yeah, hi there, Eamon. And according to the PGA Tour and its officials, they did look in Hawaii and beyond to try to find a replacement for the Sentry. And there were some challenges. Just finding a PGA Tour caliber golf course is one of those challenges. The other, the infrastructure, getting the stands, the leaderboards, everything that makes a PGA Tour event just that. Well, getting that up quickly in January, or by January, was a challenge as well. Ultimately, the Sentry is now canceled. Here we are this week at the Bank of Utah Championship. In the field, 5 players who won in 2025 on the PGA Tour, but those 5 players did not make it to the BMW Championship, meaning they are not in all the signature events for 2026. So them playing the Sentry, which is a signature event, which has more FedEx Cup points, no cut, and more money, that's a big deal to those 5 players. And they were concerned that if this tournament got canceled, this championship got canceled, which it ultimately did, that they would not have a chance to play in a signature event in 2026. But ultimately, the Tour said, you 5 that are in the field here this week will be eligible to play in a signature event. Instead of being at the Pacific, playing on Maui, you'll be playing near the Atlantic on Hilton Head Island in the RBC Heritage.
It's still a little disappointing. Obviously, I've watched it on TV the last decade. It looked like a really fun course, birdie fest, and just a fun week to start the year. Obviously, it's sad, you win and you don't get to go, but with it being at Heritage, I mean, it's one of my favorite tournaments of the year. I love Hilton Head, used to live there, so it's a good consolation for me.
Yeah, are you satisfied with the fact that Hilton Head is the destination for you to replace Sentry in the Signature Series?
Yeah, I'm very satisfied. I think it puts an event on the schedule for me, so I know where I'm going to be going, and Hilton Head's such a great place. Harbor Town's an awesome course, and last year I played there. It was my first signature event, and it was probably one of my favorite events of the year, like I said, and they just put on a great event there, and the crowds are awesome, so I'm looking forward to going back.
It's quite a little disappointing, but can't do too much about it. I get an extra week at home, so I'm not complaining too much. But yeah, it makes travel a little easier that we can come to the States. I'm not going to go play Sony, so it suits the schedule a little bit more. But yeah, it would have been awesome to go play and play with some of the best guys who've had a really good year this year.
You are going to get to play a signature event that's not the Sentry, and that is at Hilton Head, the RBC Heritage. Are you satisfied with that decision by the Tour?
Yeah, I mean, just to get another spot into another no-cut signature event is good. So I'm happy that they were able to pull some strings and make that happen for the guys who missed out. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to it, playing Augusta the week before, so it's going to be a pretty big 2 weeks, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
So for Carl Phillips and Audrey Potgieter, who you just heard from, they were anticipating starting their 2026 PGA Tour season on the island of Maui at Kapalua. Now the earliest they can start is another island on Oahu for the Sony Open. But they will play, again, a signature event that replaces Sentry on Hilton Head Island, that being the RBC Heritage. Potgieter's an interesting story. He's currently 52nd in the FedEx Fall standings. Now, positions 51 through 60 at the end of the FedEx Fall will get an automatic invite into the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am and the Genesis Invitational. If Potgieter just makes the cut here this week in Utah, he's pretty much a certainty to be in those two events. Now you add on the RBC Heritage, and he is in 3 signature events for 2026. So the winner here in Utah, well, they will not be going to Maui, Eamon. Instead, they will be playing at the RBC Heritage if they're not already exempt in signature events for 2026.
That's a pretty decent consolation. Thanks for that, Todd. We'll be back to you in just a little bit. We also have a statement from Stephanie Smith. She is the Chief Marketing and Brand Officer and the Chief Golf Partnership Officer at Sentry. She said, the Sentry is a jewel in the PGA Tour schedule. We were determined to find a way to play a signature level event in 2026, one that honoured the tournament's tradition and provided the quality of competition that players and fans have come to expect. Despite the Tour's best efforts, it became impossible to do that. Sentry is committed to our long-term relationship with the Tour, which runs through 2035, and the Sentry's place as a prominent event. While 2026 will not turn out as we would have liked, we are optimistic about the future. I'm joined now by Mark Rolfing, who, as golf fans know, is as closely associated with the Sentry as any person is with a PGA Tour event. Mark, your initial reactions to the news today?
Well, I think it was pretty inevitable, Eamon. I'm disappointed, obviously, but not much that we could do about that. I feel so badly for our community. The island of Maui has been through so much. If you think about the last 5 years, we went through COVID just like everybody else did, but then had the wildfires in 2023 that basically burned our little town of Lahaina to the ground. And now the worst drought really in the history of Maui. And I'm just not sure how this fragile, small island in the middle of the ocean can survive all this.
Was there a realistic possibility, Mark, that the event could have been played somewhere else? It's been a month since the Tour announced that they were going to start probing alternatives. How realistic was that process in your mind that you would be able to find an alternative?
It was going to be difficult, Eamon. There's no doubt about it. It was going to have to move into a slot that actually wasn't there. I mean, the PGA Tour schedule is full other than that first week in January. And that first week in January is difficult with little notice. 2 or 3 months is not very much notice, especially for hotels and people that, have to take care of a lot of visitors over the holidays. So the date being early in the year, it was difficult. I think the PGA Tour did a wonderful job trying to come up with some alternatives. Certainly Stephanie Smith and Pete McPartland at Sentry tried to do everything they possibly could to play the tournament, even if it weren't to be in Hawaii. But with all the shipping and logistics and all that it takes to put on a PGA Tour event, it just wasn't possible.
How optimistic are you for 2027 and beyond, Mark? Do you think that the Hawaiian swing that fans have become accustomed to seeing open the PGA Tour schedule is in any kind of jeopardy, or are you pretty confident that when we do get to 27, it will be just like the old days?
I think there's some pretty severe challenges. There's no question about it. I don't know if jeopardy is the right word. Hawaii's been such an important part of the PGA Tour for years and years, and it has become kind of appointment television at the beginning of the season for Maui, and then the week after, of course, in Honolulu on Oahu at the Sony Open. So I am so hopeful that something can be figured out.